I mean, shit, there is no other way to start this. They haven't seen the truck, so they don't know. But like,
No, they really haven't. Hell, we've only shown the Starion and the Charger.
yeah, it's only been the Starion and the Charger so far. But we were hoping to have the truck in one of the videos. You know,
Hell, that truck was on its way to being a like tailgate monster.
it really was. It was as far as you could take bolt-ons. I mean, the next step for that truck was getting the rear end yanked out of it, going to a Mopar 8 3/4 and doing a 4-lane.
Literally, it was at the point where you're either gonna leave it as is, cage it, or engine swap it.
It was break something, so I had an excuse to upgrade it. For 1994 Toyota pickup. It was a little 2-wheel drive base model. It started out as, you know, your typical little daily driver. It looked like a monster truck. It had teeny tiny little wheels. And it was supposed to be my cheap little get around town, get to and from work while I fixed my Cummins.
I'm gonna keep it stock.
Yeah, that didn't go well. So I mean, it started off by making it comfy, you know, throwing some sound deadening. I got some nice carpet for it, and then the tires were teeny tiny. I was sliding around in the rain. So what did I do? I went and got some, you know, just some old Steelies and some 225/50 Kumos, and, you know, 400 tread wear. Sticky, but, you know, streetable. I mean, I got 20-30K out of a good set. So it started out as a daily, just comfy stuff, wheels and tires, you know, normal little get around town kind of thing. That is when I realized it was about to go downhill. I was driving the truck, and this was still at stock height, just wheels and tires. I was throwing the truck around. I'm like, damn, this thing kind of, it's not terrible. And not terrible turned into drop it 4 inches, and then that turned into poly bushings, that turned into a lightweight flywheel, short shifter. It turned into lots and lots and lots of goodies that you wouldn't put on a daily.
The best way I could describe it at that point in time is it's like an 8.6. It handles like one. It might be a truck, but for all intents and purposes, it was an 8.6.
That was the running joke in the little group that I ran with back then. It was, at the time, an 8.6 with a bed. I got it to where it was, you know, poly bushings and dropped and all that mess, and it stayed like that for quite a while because I picked up the Charger. Driving the truck around, I still wanted more. It still had more in it, and I knew it. And then it got front and rear sway bars, which stiffened it up so much that it was painful to daily drive. But the thing would not break loose. It had no body roll. The thing slayed. This little Toyota pickup with a bone stock 22RE and a 5-speed. I couldn't do 80 on the highway, but in the back roads in the mountains, take it as you will, but the thing would keep up with Miatas and BRZs, your occasional 350. I mean, good drivers, slow cars, that kind of deal. No other way to put it.
I can attest to this because there's been more than enough people in this area that have heard about this truck that wanted to run it. Now, whether or not, you know, he actually went out and did it, that's a different story.
Now, I will say, if it stayed exactly where it was, I would have had to get double adjustable shocks. The shocks were too stiff for what it was. So if the road was even slightly poor, it would rattle your teeth out. For the purposes of this video, why we're making this one and not showing you the truck out in the yard. 2 weeks ago, heading home from work on a road that is more confusing than it should be. I was going to go around a car that was making a left turn. They were dead stopped. As I was going around them, I guess I spooked them, because right as I was getting around them, they got in it and bumped me. When they bumped me, I went sideways into oncoming traffic and met a 2019 Camry. The 2019 Camry was completely totaled. Like, engine pushed into the firewall, full airbag deployment, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
My truck, the cab was shifted over 4 inches to the left. The inner fender, the passenger inner fender is over here touching the motor. And the frame is bent, unfortunately. If the frame was straight and I could salvage some of the parts, I would rebuild the truck. Plain and simple. But to rebuild the truck, I would need another cab and frame, and at that point, there's no point.
Yeah, you're better off just buying something
It's
else.
better to do, and I mean all of my good parts on the passenger side at least ruined. I mean,
Hell, about the only salvageable thing on that would probably be the bare steering rack and the rear sway bar.
The rear sway bar is okay. The rack is destroyed because the inner tire I got shoved into it. It's locked up.
Yeah.
The cross member that Jake from Stab Fab made to mount the steering rack, that held up surprisingly well. But at the same time, it was 1/4 inch thick box tube steel. So I mean, the thing was the strongest part on the truck.
Listen, we all at one point or another know what it's like to lose, let's just say something that means the world to us. You know, whether it be a car, your phone, your ex-wife.
It's one of those things that you just kind of gotta. It's not so much get over it as it is move on.
Exactly.
I mean, this is granted only 2 weeks ago. It's still I'm still like actively recovering from the fact that I should have fucking died.
Yeah, honestly,
Like,
with the amount of damage here, I don't know how you survived.
They thought I was dead. The police that showed up at the wreck thought I was dead. They put me in the ambulance and didn't realize I was still up and functioning until I woke up in the fucking ambulance.
That's literally everything, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we don't really have videos of the truck. I lost my phone in the wreck, and with it, I lost a lot of the videos and photos I had. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we're running off of Snapchat memories and
Instagram.
Yeah. And I didn't even keep Instagram updated well enough. No. I'm not a picture guy. Near future, my Starion, also which has been on this channel, I am getting the rear end back for the car tomorrow, which so I'm gonna get it back tomorrow. I'm gonna paint it, and we should I think we're doing a video on us slamming it back in the car.
Nope.
And continuing diag on my rear end clones.
Yeah. You guys have briefly seen the diesel on the channel. We might do a small highlight. I did a video of it a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think we might re-drop that on the channel just
yeah,
cause.
We can. I mean, not much has really changed about the truck. She's just been getting maintenance. I mean,
for all intents and purposes, it's the daily tow pig.
She's the tow pig, and I mean, at the end of the day, I can afford a Charger, I can afford a Starion, I can build a mini truck. But I do not have diesel money, and if you've dealt with diesels, you know what I mean.
So what about the Charger?
So the Charger, I am waiting on funds, but the Charger is currently halfway put together, updating the carburetor. We mentioned that in the last video on the Charger. It's getting its updated carb, Demon 750, that kind of deal. Just to update the fuel injection portion, so I can get the car properly tuned and continue on with my stage 2 of the car, which is make it legal to the point where I can slap a plate on it and take it to rod run, that kind of deal.
Now, there's a couple things that we haven't mentioned, or hell, even shown on the channel. That would be my builds.
Messy's a build.
Yeah, Messy's a build.
It's not getting built, but it's a build.
listen, that's going to be expensive.
It's money.
Yeah.
If this was 2014 and we could pick up an LS for $100, it wouldn't be an issue, but it's not.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise, I have a truck, which we'll be showing soon, doing an overview of everything on it. It's getting an LS swap. That's just the way to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, LS more better.
And another side project that we'll be having on the channel, it won't be a main feature or anything.
Yeah, it's just like an occasional update, like, hey,
the daily really isn't that bad, but it's not interesting. There could be some really good, like, you know, DIY information on it that could apply to, you know, a whole bunch of different cars, because one of the things, a couple of the things that we're going to be doing on it is tint and redoing the audio system.
Yeah, redoing the audio system, just making it more comfy.
All right, so coming back around to everything, we've got a few builds that we're going to go ahead and start making videos on. They're going to be few and far between because we're regular fucking people. We don't have time every single day to film everything and spend all the money on the parts all at once to get something out. It's gonna come in time. I mean, hell, this is basically like, you know, a passion project.
This is a passion project. This is more for us to go back in a couple years and look like, hey, that's what the Charger was like back then.
Exactly. Well, I think that about wraps it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Taco.
Rest in peace, Taco.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows?
Cool, like our shit.
Yeah, what he said.